Have you ever wondered how a single nation can claim to be both the world's oldest living civilization and its most ambitious laboratory for the future? China isn't just a destination. It is a 5,000-year-old organism that has mastered the art of survival through sheer paradox. From the silent, misty peaks of ancient legends to the neon-drenched arteries of cities that never sleep, we are about to peel back the layers of the Middle Kingdom. Beyond the skyscrapers and the crowds lies a hidden code of endurance that has defied the collapse of every other empire in history. Are you ready to decode the mystery of the world's most resilient superpower? The Great Wall, a monument to the collective soul. The Great Wall of China stands as the ultimate physical manifestation of the Chinese psyche, a colossal stone dragon snaking across the ridges of 1,000 mountains. Standing on its ramparts, you aren't just looking at a fortification. You are witnessing the tangible residue of a collective obsession with security and permanence. For centuries, the Middle Kingdom viewed itself as the center of the universe, and this wall was the definitive period at the end of that sentence. It was built not merely to keep invaders out, but to define exactly where the Chinese world ended and the barbarian wilderness began. The mystery of the wall, however, lies in its staggering human cost. Millions of lives were woven into the mortar of these stones, sacrificed under scorching suns and freezing winds. This leads us to a haunting realization. The wall was perhaps as much a psychological barrier for the Chinese people as it was a physical one for their enemies. It serves as a powerful reminder that in this culture, the survival of the civilization has always been prioritized over the comfort of the individual. This Great Wall mentality, the idea of long-term sacrifice for communal protection, is a theme that continues to echo through the nation's modern social fabric. As you watch the sunset cast long shadows over the crenellated towers, you begin to understand that the wall isn't just a relic. It's a statement of intent that has lasted for 2 millennia. It is a testament to the sheer endurance of a people who refused to be conquered by geography or by time. The echoes of these ancient stones carry us toward a different kind of verticality, one carved not by human hands, but by the patient chisel of time itself. Zhangjiajie, where the earth reaches for the heavens. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park offers a landscape so surreal, it forced the Western world to invent new cinematic languages just to describe it. These towering sandstone pillars, some rising over 1,000 feet into the misty heavens, famously inspired the floating mountains of Avatar. Yet, no camera can truly capture the spiritual weight of standing at the edge of these abysses. To the ancient Taoists, these peaks were the stairs to heaven, a sacred space where the veil between the earthly and the divine was thinnest. It feels less like a forest and more like a cathedral of stone. When you walk across the world-famous glass bridges suspended over these yawning chasms, you experience a profound sense of vertigo that is both physical and existential. It challenges your very perception of what is possible in nature. China has protected this jagged sanctuary with fierce pride, recognizing these mountains as the visual DNA of their traditional Shanghai paintings. For centuries, artists have sought to capture the fog clinging to these spires, reflecting a Chinese philosophy of awe and humble submission to the natural world. The mystery here is a geological paradox. How have such fragile-looking, slender structures withstood millions of years of erosion? They stand as silent witnesses to the rise and fall of dynasties, unchanging while the world below transformed beyond recognition. There is a quiet wisdom in these rocks, suggesting that sometimes the most enduring things are those that appear the most delicate. As we descend from these natural spires, we encounter a different kind of monument, one where modern man has finally succeeded in bending the most powerful forces of nature to his absolute will. The Three Gorges Dam, Taming the Dragon's Pulse. The Three Gorges Dam is perhaps the most ambitious and controversial milestone in our journey. It represents a scale of engineering that feels almost godlike, a massive, concrete titan designed to harness the raw power of the Yangtze. By taming this ancient river, China didn't just build a hydroelectric plant. They created a machine so colossal that the sheer mass of water it shifted subtly altered the Earth's moment of inertia, slowing our planet's rotation by a fraction of a microsecond. This is where the Great Wall ambition of old meets the unbridled technological might of the 21st century. While the dam shields millions from catastrophic floods and provides a torrent of clean energy, the cost of this progress was staggering. To make way for the reservoir, the government submerged thousands of years of history, ancient temples, archaeological sites, and ancestral graves, while displacing over 1 million people. This leads us to a profound ethical crossroads. Is it morally justifiable to erase the history of 1,000 villages and the homes of over 1 million people to ensure the survival and progress of 1 billion others? This tension between old China and new China is exactly what makes the nation so difficult to categorize. The dam stands as a monument to a pragmatic, often ruthless logic. The belief that the future must be secured, no matter what part of the past must be sacrificed to achieve it. Now, as this immense energy flows through the national grid, it ignites the neon heartbeat of a metropolis that serves as the ultimate window into the future. Shanghai, the neon frontier of tomorrow. If Beijing is the heart of China, Shanghai is undoubtedly its adrenaline. Standing on the Bund at night, gazing across the Huangpu River toward the Zhangjiajie financial district, feels like staring into a high-definition prophecy. The twisting Shanghai Tower doesn't just sit on the horizon, it dominates it, pulsing with a restless, electric energy. This city represents the Great Acceleration, having transformed from a marshy gateway into a global titan in just a few decades. It is the living proof that China can not only join the modern world, but can also redefine its limits. However, the real mystery of Shanghai isn't found in its vertical reach, but in its ability to preserve its soul at a breakneck pace. Tucked between gleaming skyscrapers are shikumen houses, traditional stone gate neighborhoods where laundry still hangs over narrow alleys and neighbors gossip over steaming bowls of noodles. It is a city of layers, where 1920s Art Deco architecture stands in defiant conversation with the cyberpunk aesthetics of the future. As you navigate this neon labyrinth, you realize Shanghai is a social experiment on a massive scale. Yet one has to wonder, in the race to build the fastest, the tallest, and the brightest, what delicate parts of the human experience are being left behind in the shadows of these glass giants? Shanghai remains a dazzling window into a future that arrived early. From the dizzying heights of the Pudong skyline, we turn our gaze back toward the refined traditions of the North, where a single dish carries the weight of imperial history. Peking duck, the culinary alchemy of the emperors. In the West, we often view food as fuel, but in China, food is a sophisticated language. No dish speaks that language more eloquently than Peking duck. This isn't just a meal, it's a 3-day ritual of preparation dating back to the Yuan dynasty. To decode this dish is to understand the Chinese obsession with precision. The skin must shatter like glass, the meat must be as tender as a secret, and the pancakes must be translucent. It is a masterclass in culinary discipline, a legacy of imperial kitchens where perfection was the only acceptable standard. The true beauty lies in the ceremony. The chef carves the bird at your table in a rhythmic dance of steel, yielding exactly 108 slices. There is a profound philosophy hidden in this number. The idea that every part of the animal must be honored. Have you ever wondered why we find such traditions so magnetic? Is it the flavor itself, or the comfort of knowing we are participating in a ritual unchanged for 700 years? In a world obsessed with the new and fast, Peking duck stands as a delicious protest, demanding we slow down to appreciate the craftsmanship of the past. But as refined as the North may be, the West offers a much more visceral, fiery challenge to the senses. Sichuan hot pot, the chemistry of the numbing spice. If Peking duck is a refined violin solo, Sichuan hot pot is a raw, high-energy, heavy metal concert. Centered in the misty, humid basins of Chengdu and Chongqing, this bubbling cauldron of beef tallow and dried chilies is more than a meal. It's a sensory assault. The secret weapon here is the Sichuan peppercorn, which produces ma, a numbing electric vibration on the tongue. This isn't just a flavor, it's a physical experience that temporarily alters your state of consciousness. The mystery of the hot pot is rooted in the basin mentality of the Sichuan people. Traditionally, the intense heat was used to drive out the dampness of the regional climate, but it has evolved into a profound social code. Hot pot is the ultimate communal equalizer. You cook your own food in a shared pot, reaching through clouds of spicy steam to grab a morsel of tripe or a slice of potato. In this environment, formality dies. You cannot be distant while sweating over a fiery broth with friends. This dish reflects the bold, resilient spirit of China's interior. They embrace the burn because they understand that life, like the pot, is a chaotic mixture of the bitter and the fiery that somehow results in perfect harmony. The giant panda, decoding the Zen ambassador. The giant panda is arguably the most successful diplomat in human history. To the world, they are the embodiment of cute, roly-poly balls of black and white fur existing in a state of perpetual, clumsy Zen. But in China, the panda is a living manifestation of yin and yang. Their contrasting colors represent the balance of opposites, a core tenet of Chinese philosophy suggesting that harmony only exists through the union of light and dark, strength and softness. The mystery of the panda lies in its improbable survival. This is a bear that abandoned its carnivorous roots to spend 14 hours a day chewing on bamboo, a plant with almost zero nutritional value. It is a biological anomaly that by all rights should have vanished millennia ago. China's massive investment in high-tech breeding centers and vast reserves reveals a profound underlying vow. For a nation that industrialized at lightning speed, saving the panda is a way to prove it can also be a steward of a fragile Earth. When you look into the eyes of a panda, you're looking at a mirror of China's own journey. It is a reminder that even the most powerful giants must find equilibrium with their environment. If we can save a creature as vulnerable as the panda, does that give us hope that we can solve the much larger environmental crises facing our planet? The panda isn't just a mascot. It is a test of our collective humanity. While the panda represents the quiet side of the Chinese spirit, there is a time of year when that stillness is shattered by the most explosive celebration on Earth. The Spring Festival, the great pulse of home. Every year, China undergoes a transformation known as Chunyun, or the Spring Festival travel rush. Quite literally, the largest recurring human migration in history. For 15 days, the entire country shifts its weight as hundreds of millions of people cram into buses, planes, and high-speed trains to return to their ancestral villages. This isn't merely a holiday, it's a magnetic pull. In a culture uprooted by rapid urbanization, the Spring Festival serves as the reset button for the Chinese soul. The mystery of the Lunar New Year lies in its stubborn survival within such a high-tech, fast-paced society. You'll see teenagers who spend their days coding AI return home to sit on low wooden stools, folding dumplings with their grandmothers and setting off firecrackers to ward off the mythical beast, Nian. It is the moment when the individual ceases to be an employee or a citizen and becomes, once again, a son or a daughter. The red lanterns and hongbao red envelopes are the connective tissue of a civilization that refuses to let its family bonds be severed by the blade of modernity. This festival is the ultimate evidence of China's cultural code. No matter how many skyscrapers they build, the center of the Chinese universe remains the dinner table on New Year's Eve. It is a defiant statement that the future is only worth having if you have your ancestors standing behind you. As the echoes of the New Year's fireworks fade, a different rhythm begins to rise from the rivers, a rhythmic drumming that beats back the shadows of the past. The Dragon Boat Festival, the rhythm of collective memory. If the Spring Festival is about the family, the Dragon Boat Festival, Duan Wu, is about the community and the state. Originating over 2,000 years ago to commemorate the poet-statesman Chu Yuan, this festival is a visceral display of synchronized power. When you watch a dragon boat race, you aren't watching individuals. You are witnessing a single, multi-armed organism. The drummer at the bow sets the heartbeat, and every rower must submerge their ego to that rhythm. If even one person rows for themselves, the boat falters. This is the secret sauce of Chinese society, the ability to synchronize. To an American observer, this level of coordination can feel intimidating. But to the Chinese, it is the highest form of beauty. It reflects a history where survival depended on collective action, whether taming the floods of the Yellow River or constructing the Great Wall. Even the Zhangjiajie sticky rice dumplings eaten during this time, wrapped tightly in bamboo leaves, symbolize how the people are bound together by shared history. The mystery here is how an ancient ritual of mourning evolved into a global sport. It reminds us that in China, competition is rarely about the star athlete and almost always about the unit. It is a microcosm of the nation's economic rise. 1 billion people rowing in the same direction, driven by a single, thunderous drum. But how does a nation so large stay in sync across such vast distances? The answer lies in the most impressive physical network ever constructed by man. The high-speed rail, rewriting the laws of geography. We began our journey with the Great Wall, a barrier built to keep things out. We ended with the high-speed rail HSR network, a bridge built to bring everything together. In less than 2 decades, China has built more high-speed track than the rest of the world combined. These silver bullets, gliding at 350 kilometers per hour, have done something that no emperor could ever achieve. They have made the vastness of China small. The HSR is the ultimate Maoist dream realized with capitalist technology. It has turned 1,000-mile journeys into morning commutes. The mystery of the HSR isn't the physics of the trains, but the speed of the implementation. How does a nation build a bridge across a mountain range in the time it takes other countries to finish a feasibility study? It is a testament to a top-down system that can mobilize resources with terrifying efficiency. It represents the new China Code, the belief that infrastructure is the foundation of destiny. When you sit on a G train, watching the rural rice paddies blur into a forest of cranes and glass, you realize that the train is a time machine. It is carrying 1.4 billion people from a peasant past into a digital future. It is the final piece of the puzzle, the thread that sews the 5,000-year-old silk of Chinese history into a modern garment. The unending scroll. As this journey comes to a close, the question remains: what truly sustains China's resilience? We've seen it etched in stone, shaped by mountains, stirred in fire and spice, and accelerated by steel and speed. China has not abandoned its past. It has absorbed it, layer by layer, into the present. This is not a story of one monument or one era, but of continuity, a civilization that moves forward without cutting its roots. The scroll is still unfolding. The ink is still wet. If this story made you pause, reflect, or question what you thought you knew, stay with us. Subscribe and continue decoding the world, one place at a time.